We all have this little voice inside of our head that tends to never shut up, but it has a major impact on our emotions, the stories that we tell ourselves about maybe how people are viewing us or thinking about us, what we're capable of doing. It tells us throughout the day. It's a narration all day long of different things that we do and how we perceive life. And it can be very impactful, positively or negatively, on what we do next and how our future unfolds, unless you figure out a way to control it. So if you are just in a quiet area, like I'm in my car right now, and if I just sit quietly, pay attention to the thoughts of that voice. Pay attention to what it's saying. Where does it drift to? Does it drift to something that you dealt with maybe this morning that is still a problem that you're dealing with? Or maybe someone beeped at you while you're on your way to work and that is still bothering you and it just keeps giving you reasons to think about it, or different scenarios of what you should have said in that moment? Or, maybe something's going on at work. Like, you kind of get the idea. Where does that voice take you? And where is it lying as far as the story or the narration that it wants you to focus on? Because where your focus goes, your energy is going to flow. And if you are so focused on something that is absolute nonsense, like it's not important, and this voice is telling you to focus on it, you need to control that. You need to realize that whatever it is that has your mind there, whether maybe it's an argument you had with your spouse, maybe it's a friend that you're having a disagreement with, maybe you're trying to figure out how to pay rent and it's a financial thing. But if you focus on the problem and that voice keeps replaying those problems in your head, you're just going to create more evidence in your world that you're telling your brain to look for more problems, because that's all you're thinking about is the problem. What you need to do is clear your mind of that thought. Recognize what that little voice is saying, what it's replaying in your mind, acknowledge it, and move on from it. The thing is, you don't have to go in the same direction as the problem that it's bringing up. Whatever that voice is telling you to focus on, you don't have to go with it. You can acknowledge it, you can listen to it, but it doesn't mean you have to go in a direction to follow it toward whatever destination it's leading you to. Maybe your friend did say something, but if you speak up and you say something to your friend, what happens after that? What happens when you say something that you regret, right? You have to have a little bit more control over your mind and the thoughts that come into it. And that is where you may not realize that you are in more control than you think, because you can acknowledge the thought and just decide not to go with it. Acknowledge it, watch it move on, clear it out, and that's it. Because if you think about a lot of the things that bother you and a lot of the things that this little voice is telling you need to worry about, they're really not that big of a deal. At the end of the day, it's not life-changing. If it is, maybe there's a direction that you need to go to find the solution to the problem, not focus on the problem, because that's the other issue. You focus on the problem so much, you don't have the clarity in your mind to get the solution downloaded, because you have so much clutter with the negative. And what if you redirect that voice? Instead of saying, what should I say to my friend who said something that I don't like, or what should I do with this problem that I have at work that keeps replaying in my mind, like I can't get this employee to do something I need, and you're just thinking about all the issues. But when you remove that, all of a sudden you have more clarity for the solution to be downloaded. You have more clarity to make the right decision. And now you redirect that little voice inside your head that never shuts up. It narrates your entire day, but narrates with a positive outcome. Change it. Okay, how can I empower this employee? What am I missing that maybe they're dealing with that I can help them provide a solution to? What am I missing that I need to be aware of so I know how to help this person? Instead of looking at their flaws, look at a solution to be an empowerment to help them, right? And maybe with your friend, maybe they spoke up because they have their own insecurity about something, right? You got to look at it from a different point of view and start changing that little voice inside your head from being so positive and focusing on the problem to being a solution and focusing on the solution and identifying that solution. Because when you change it, now you're messing with your reticular activating system, which is basically your mind's filter, telling you what's important, what your brain should look for, and have it look for opportunities for a solution and not more problems based on what you're focused on and based on what that little voice keeps repeating over and over in your mind. The mind is a powerful thing and the mind is a powerful tool, but it can be powerful for negative unless you change it for the positive. Our brain is always going to default to keeping you in a fear state because it's trying to keep you safe. But when it defaults to a fear state, it keeps replaying reasons for you not to, take action on something, or not to take a risk maybe that is needed, or make a good decision using the right level of emotional intelligence to solve a problem. It has you react emotionally, which could be an outburst in anger, which could be something that you say that you absolutely regret, or an action that you do based on just desperation. Instead of acting in desperation, act with a strategy. Act with something that was clarified in your mind because you took control of that voice and you made it positive instead of negative. Guys, you are special. You have more power than you could possibly think. God wants you to have this clarity. He wants you to feel safe in this world. And the only way to feel free in this world is to free yourself from allowing that little voice to constantly replay the narration of negative. But have it play something that is positive and useful, And I've been reading this book. It's called The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer, and it goes in depth about this little voice that just never shuts up. And it's really important that you observe those thoughts in a very quiet environment. Where do your thoughts go? What is this voice keep replaying when you're in the shower? What is it saying to you? Is it saying about the judgments of people and the things that bothered you and the negativities? Or are you observing it, letting all of it go, and then allowing yourself to have a little bit more control and say, you know what, voice, I know what you're trying to do. I know you're trying to pull me down an avenue that I don't need to go, and I'm not going to allow it. I appreciate the thoughts. I appreciate you trying to keep me safe, but I got it from here. And then reprogram that voice to find a solution. When you do that, I promise you're going to see a huge difference in your life, your attitude. You're going to have more peace, and you're going to start seeing synchronicities of opportunities coming your way because now you've programmed yourself to do so. Guys, I love you. I want to see you have some freedom in your life. Have some freedom from that voice that just keeps interacting with you and what could be a negative way, and make it a positive. I hope this video helps you guys. I'll see you in the next one.